Hello and welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast, your weekly gaming podcast, episode number 332, with me, George, and this week joined by RGT. He's Wolverine to my Margarine. Now, before he gets a chance to interject on that, and you've had time to really think it through, coming up, we've got some great news. We've got some Nintendo Switch expanding its GameCube library news. We've got some Wolverine news on PS5. And if that turns you off, don't panic because we've got the impossible port, Crimson Desert, coming to the Switch 2. Stick around to find out how that all goes down. Don't forget to, yes, yes, click subscribe, come join the family. You know it makes sense. I don't think we're over pushy, but if you don't hit it, RGT will he will have relations with your pet. RGT, with that all said and done, my little Wolverine looking friend with your ever increasing facial hair, how the devil are you?
I'm good. I will just justify I won't have relations with your pet, but I'm very well, thank you very much.
Hmm. Let me check your contract. You will be having relations with pets. And moving swiftly on, what have you been playing?
A little bit more Rogue Flight. Done a couple of another runs on that. Still dying round about the second level, but really enjoying it. I really recommend anyone to jump on that if you like Star Fox because it is a really, really good game for very cheap money. Great bit of fun. If you like retro shooters, and them early 3D graphics, give it a
What
go.
about anamorphic animals? Are you an animal in it?
No,
Fox? A dog?
nope.
A human?
Yes. Yes, you're fighting back against the AI that's took over the planet.
Oh
So,
wow. So
mm.
like what set next, what, 2027?
Yeah, yeah, set in September. So, but yeah, I would really recommend it. It's not really much more to say on that because it is one of them games where you just keep having a go and keep going through. But it's great fun. It plays really well. Give it a go if you like I say, if you like Star Fox, because especially Star Fox is quite the talking point at the moment. I'd jump in and definitely give that a trial. And also Death and a Nile. Playing a
Hmm.
bit more of that now. I've played probably about 3.5, 4 hours now, and I still ain't got onto the Nile yet. But I've been investigating uh, different things as you go, and there's a new way of investigating, which is good fun. Loving the puzzles on it. One puzzle was a jukebox which you needed to play to get the woman to dance, and then she would talk to you. She would only dance when she's happy with music. You literally had to rebuild this thing from the ground up, unplug it so you didn't get electrocuted, and build the cogs and work it all up and get the system working to pick the discs up. And great fun little puzzles in there. Really enjoying that.
Barrow's the well-known musical fixer though, isn't he?
Oh God, yes. Yeah, he's well known for that. You do some really strange things in this game for you think this man has so many talents that no one knew about. But yeah, really good game again. I do like my Agatha Christie games, and this is so far one of the best I think. But
Hmm.
other than that, I ain't really been playing too much, George. Been a busy week work wise, and as well for both of us. But what about you? What have you been playing this week?
Well, I've got something coming up in the news, but actually thinking about it, I will just touch on my Starfield experience.
Oh yeah, I was wondering about that. I meant to ask you
Yeah,
off air
so I
about that.
decided to try and push that on a little bit and probably spoil it for the end of the show. Probably try and plan push that on a little bit more. I've got some time back this weekend, hopefully, so that'll be of interest to me. Um, but yeah, I continue playing it. Again, I'm just having these issues with the disconnect of like, I want to explore space in a space RPG that's from the people that made Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim. Yet every time I get in a ship, I see it as a pointless escapade, if I'm honest with you. Press Go into a menu in the start menu, trawl through that to find the place you want to go to, hold down square. It feels very jarring.
It feels
I've
like a bit of a cutscene to load the game up, doesn't it?
I
It's
don't want to sort of labour on that too much. It is that for sure, 100%. But I find it a very odd narrative choice. I think last week I spoke about some of the things that I am enjoying on it, and this is on PS5. But yeah, I continued with the story a little bit more, mopped up in the caverns I reported to be in last week. and did some tidying up and then went on to a space station and that just seems to be like hell on earth. There's these kind of weird these humans that have been taken over by this entity. They're nails or feel nails to me. I'm trying to take them down. It feels very difficult. It's also you're floating in space, so it's zero gravity as well. So that kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to kind of move your character around. My companion's just walking along the floor. I don't know if there's a button for mag boots, but they didn't make it obvious to me. So I'm just floating around like a lost sausage in a stew, if I'm honest with you. But there you go. So yeah, did some googling. Like, am I playing this wrong? And Google came straight back like, no, this is Starfield, but you could download this mod, that mod, the other mod. And I'm sat there thinking, now I said to you off air, I'm not against mods because we like a bit of farming simulator, and everything I play on there is a mod, from the tracks to the maps to everything. But they don't fundamentally change how you play the game. That's just like get Starfield giving you a mod for a ship. Starfield mods, though, seem to be all about fixing the game to a state where someone like me might enjoy it, and I find that a little bit egregious. But like I say, we'll rest that there because I think it's time for my other game I've been playing. But to do that, we need to access the news. It's time for the news. We scour the very darkest regions of the internet to bring you the latest stories. First up, are you ready for this, RGT? Make sure you sat down
Mm.
because Nintendo expands Switch 2's GameCube library this week with another game. Old Liam Doolan over at Nintendo Life got his keyboard out and went full hack on this one. So basically, Nintendo's announced its Switch Online Nintendo Classic service will be adding the GameCube title Super Mario Sunshine, 13th of August 2026. The title debuted on GameCube in 2002 and was previously made available in the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection for the Switch, which has now been delisted. Here's the official description along with the screenshots. This title is an action game for Nintendo GameCube released in 2002. Mario and his friends arrive on the southern paradise of Delfino Island for a vacation. However, Mario is falsely accused of vandalizing the island with graffiti. Promising to clean up the island, Mario sets out to prove his innocence and find the real culprit in order to recover the sun's power, Shine, which was lost due to the graffiti. The game features water-based action, and such as using a pump on his back to defeat enemies with water jets and fly through the air. To access this title on the service, you'll need to have an active Switch Online and expansion pack subscription. In some of the news today, Nintendo confirmed two cancelled titles will be likely joining the Virtual Boy library next week as well. RGT, will you be taking a trip to Isle Delfino next week? Will you, dear listener? Have you played it already? Comment below. Let us know what you're up to. And while you're there, you might as well hit subscribe. RGT, let's get lost in the weeds on this, because if I may, this is going to be my second What You've Been Playing.
Mm.
So I've had a pretty hectic week, um, keeping busy with all things show related, as you know. So been working the grind, doing what I do. But uh, I noticed it had dropped, so I hopped on the Switch 2 and clicked on the thing. What I like about Nintendo Switch Online is when you do get a new game, it's just like a red card that says new. And even though you kind of know what it is, or you know ahead of time what it is, when you scroll up to it and it turns over, you feel like you've won the lottery.
I deliberately don't go on them for a while, and then I turn two or three over on each, and I love that
Ooh,
because that's almost a way of doing a digital game in a good way because you're excited to get it. It gives that build up, and you click on it, and go, oh, I've got a Fire Emblem, or oh, I've got a so and so. Yeah, I like that. It's good. It is
yeah.
good.
It's free and it needs very little work, but the impact it has on the user experience
Mm.
is tantamount.
Yeah.
So I always like a bit of that. So I dived in and I've been thoroughly enjoying it, to be honest, in the small bit I've played. It felt nice to pick it up on a modern machine. It felt nice to have it in the palm of your hand. GameCube era though, so up and down are the other way around, and left and right I think are the other way around. So, I'm sure there's people out there screaming, George, that's how you're meant to use the control stick, fella. It's meant to be reverse. You pull back to lift your head up, you push forward to put your head down, alternate, it makes sense. If you're on the audio, if you're an audio listener right now, just imagine up, down, up is down, down is up, right is left, and left is right. If you're watching the video, I move my head up and down for the audio, for the viewer. Anyway, so I've been having fun with that. It was a nice reminisce. I've not touched it, looked at it, or sniffed it since the Cube era. But here it feels solid, it feels fun, it feels dependable. I like the fact that even in the GameCube submenu, you press start, you can save straight away. A lot of the times on Switch Online, you feel better doing a save state creation. And then I always like try and find the save area as well. So it's all over the place, if I'm honest with you. But no, fantastic news. Before I ask you any more about that, I want to say that there's meant to be a big week coming from Nintendo next week, and I think we're going to see the announcement of some more classic Pokemon games making their way to the service, like
Mm.
Green and Red, which is great. I think they've maybe got a Nintendo's like announcement live coming up soon as well, so I expect that all to be bundled in there. Um, yeah, obviously with the approaching Metroid anniversary or just past and some Zelda stuff coming up, maybe a little sneak peek of Ocarina, but all that parked to one side. We don't do leaks and we don't do rumours here on the UCP, but I just flirted so heavily with one that I think I might have got it half pregnant. If that's possible, I don't know. Messages in a bottle below. RGT, what's your take on Mario Sunshine and on the wider piece of the Nintendo Online subscription pass?
Mario Sunshine, I didn't play till I was collecting really, probably 10 years ago when I started getting some GameCube bits, got Mario Sunshine, played it for a bit. That didn't quite click with me, but I wasn't really into them sort of 3D Marios or 3D platformers at the time. But now when I go back and look at it, I think, I don't know, I think I might like that now. So I think that's great to have on there. And that's another sort of staple title of the GameCube. So to have it on that Switch Online is good again. And, we've raved about the Switch Online and how it works with the retro games. And I think that's a great little system. Yes, you are right. That is exciting when you get a new game and click them and turn them over. Again, with Pokemon, if they're coming, people have been crying out for those.
Yeah, they won't be coming to the pass, but they're going to be coming to a playable state that you can buy, like Fire
Oh,
Green,
okay, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Fire
yeah,
Red and Green, whatever it was.
yeah. Even so, again, that's again, it's they seem to be slowly making. They've done it with the Switch, and they're taking it on again with the Switch 2. They're slowly making it to that all-in-one system. If you're really into Nintendo, you can play the retro. You can play bigger boy games at 4K on your telly. You can use it as your portable device. It's really becoming that all-in-one system. And at first, I always thought the Nintendo Online was a bit gimmicky as it went along, but now as it's really increased the libraries and the games you've got from Super Nintendo to N64 to GameCube, you're suddenly thinking, hold on, I can just take my Switch 2 away and have my latest big boy game I'm playing, whether it's Star Wars Outlaws or something like that. But then if I want a bit of retro, you've sort of got a bit of a GameCube library there. You've sort of got a bit of a SNES library there. You
Yeah,
sort of got, and you
100%.
suddenly think, well, hold on, this is, if you've got a few friends on holiday with you and you've got some Joy-Cons, you want to jump on a retro game with them, you
Mario
can.
Party, for instance.
Exactly, and you just think it is becoming that all-in-one system that the others have struggled to do. Others have done backwards compatibility like Xbox and Sony have flirted with doing these PS1 games and PS2, but that just doesn't seem the right way of doing it. It doesn't have that fun. That's almost like they've put them on there. Oh, that'll keep a few people happy, and they're just sort of chucked on. The backwards compatibility on Xbox. Oh, play your 360 games and that. There's only a limited number you can play. But with this, they seem to be so far. I know people are complaining about Pokemon, but so far they seem to be the right titles. Some of them are pricey titles. Gives you a great way of playing it, and you don't need to go and buy a CRT and or upscale and leads for your big TV. You can just play it on your Switch.
Do you know
So
what I'm particularly enamored with? Price has stayed static and the same, and they keep adding more things, which just broadens the value out more.
mm,
It was this price 2, 3 years ago more, and there were less games. Now on the Switch 2, you've got the Cube. There's, like as you say, a burgeoning library there. If you've completed one of those games in there, well, full fair play to you. But have you completed all of them? Doubtful. I look at the NES and SNES, and it's like, oh, crikey, it's a bit overwhelming. But it's nice to be able to go back in there and scratch that nostalgic itch every once in a while. I mean, I find myself probably more often than not going to those places. And as I say, the value add that they keep bringing is, I mean, yeah, they own it, okay, but I see maybe a future where they might creep the price up and having justified the quality and the breadth of it. but we don't see that from the other two. We just see this massive price a month. Yes, a library, but not curated, not really anything I really haven't played already. And if it is something that I aspire to play, I'll just buy it. So,
Mm,
that element of the other two, Xbox and Sony, I just see that even though there might be more there, I see the value watered down because the price is so high. It sounds crazy, but it's
no, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. And it just seems, it just seems like you say that because the libraries are getting bigger, there's more and more for people to play. It gets more and more people's attention. Um, and it doesn't seem half baked. I know some people have sort of said about the emulation bits and pieces of the game. So far, whatever games I've played superbly well,
snap.
and
They're not
you
glitching, hanging, and crashing your Switch out, are they?
no, they've done them properly. And also they're not, I love pixel games. I really do, Link to the Past and things like that. And you fire them up on there and they still seem to hold that pixel charm, even though you're on a flat screen big TV. They
Mm,
seem to, even if I plug it into my Retron, you can put smoothing and that on and scan lines, but you're on a modern TV. It does after a while. You think, put this on a CRT, it's going to sing. But they seem to have nailed it a bit with the Switch Online with the games. You don't feel like you're missing a CRT, if that makes sense. So they've done well. Great library there, loads of games to play. And a very affordable way of playing. Very affordable way of playing.
Oh, yeah. I think we've said before, you touched on it. I mean, GameCubes aren't really that cheap anymore. You've got to get
No.
all the wires if you get one loose. You've got to get controllers. Try and get official ones can be a bit difficult. Then you're down the 8-bit do-do route, and then you start to go pick up the titles, and that starts to escalate very quickly. I mean, Mario Sunshine, I don't think it's the most outrageously priced game. I think for the longest time it was one of those £15 games. It's probably crept up a bit from there, but so ubiquitous with the system. But if you're collecting on a budget, that's another chunk of change. Yeah, Nintendo Online subscription is 2 times 15. It's 30-ish quid a year, and you get all of it. It to me is a no-brainer. Happy news, by the way, continuing on from where we were last week, where we're going to bring nothing but positive energy to the toxic hellhole that is modern gaming. Welcome to the oasis of happiness, where we enjoy our hobby and enjoy patting each other on the back. Yes, we know there's things going on out there. What can we do about it? Nothing. So we're just going to focus on our own internal selves, as you are, viewer, listener. Give yourself a lift up, give yourself a pat on the back. You're looking good. Maybe, just maybe, life ain't as bad as you thought. So get on board for the revelations going down left, right, and Chelsea RGT as you bring us this next bit of news. What you got?
This is Push Square, Sammy Barker as usual. And this is the game feels super smooth. Wolverine will run at 60 FPS with ray tracing on base. I emphasize base PS5. Insomniac Wizardry. Um, Insomniac is one of the best developers in the business and certainly among the strongest studios under Sony's umbrella. It's not massively surprising to learn the studio is aiming to deliver an unprecedented experience for Marvel's Wolverine then. 60 FPS with ray tracing enabled, all on base PS5 at launch. This performance mode will be the game's default option on Sony's lowest spec console, marking a first for Insomniac. Senior project director Jess Reiner Reed told IGN, "From early in development, we knew we wanted to make this 60 FPS working on the base PS5 in performance mode. And we've definitely been able to accomplish that. The game feels super smooth." Head of technology Mike Fitzgerald said Insomniac's delivering the type of fidelity the PS5 should have. Of course, this level of optimization bodes well across the board. If you're lucky enough to own a PS5 Pro, you should expect the visuals to be pushed even harder on that hardware. A lot of the pre-release footage has been based on Sony's supercharged console and looks absolutely pristine. It's no real surprise to see Insomniac stretch the current PlayStation to its absolute limits like this. The dev team has been making Sony systems sweat for several generations now. And while Marvel's Wolverine certainly represents a different style of game from the studio, I'm excited to see how it's taking all of its learnings from the open world Marvel Spider-Man games into the more enclosed spaces of this new comic book escapade. Um, yeah, well, I think we've always said we thought the tech could do this.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, it's taken 6 years, but
Yes.
it's taken a while, which is strange. I mean, I would imagine Insomniac have done wizardry. I would imagine they've done some very clever optimization where they've probably even converted their engine to just show ray tracing bits when needed, but keep the frame rate up. But
It
I
feels
think,
a little bit more to that point. Wolverine feels a little bit more contained with these sort of isolated linear, non-linear, linear levels as compared to Spider-Man deciding to do like the whole of Manhattan and surrounding area. I think if you compress it down to these areas, absolutely right, they should be able to do exactly what they say they're doing. So yeah, I'm excited, RGT. Sorry to cut in. I just thought I'd lob that on the pyre.
no, definitely, no, you're fine. So very interesting. I like it when studios do this because you do tend to get studios that, especially when they're under a manufacturer's wing, they do tend to get the best out of systems. Like I say, Insomniac's one of those, but also it says to other developers, yes, it can be done. Um, you can do 60, you can do ray tracing on the same setting. I'll be interested to see how good it is. I mean, I always played my Spider-Man games at 60 FPS performance mode rather than high fidelity mode, because I just, that game I think needed to be as smooth as possible, and in 60 it is. Um, and you don't, after a while, you don't notice the drop in graphics. It's not a major drop in graphics. Um, I done the same with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I started playing that in the high fidelity mode, looked really good, and then suddenly I cranked it to the performance mode, and that was a game changer on that game. Similar thing with Guardians of the Galaxy. But if you got them both running, if you can do it at the same time, the ray tracing 60 FPS, like I say, 6 years in, and we're talking about a PS6, but this should set a stall out to say this is what can be done on these systems. So.
That's the scary thing because as you were talking, I was in my mind like backwards pedaling to work out, PS4 launch 2013. What did 6 years on top of that look like? And I tell you what it looked like. It looked like Death Stranding. Is this an equivalent jump? I don't think it is RGT. I don't feel like Death Stranding on base PS4 or PS4 Pro looked outstanding to this day and to now. I know we've had director's cut editions and whatnot, but there was no doubt that when Death Stranding hit, it felt big, it felt different. The visuals, the landscapes, they looked incredible. Now, Wolverine doing everything that he can do and finally pushing the PS5, what, less than 12 months out, possibly from PS6. It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost like it's well, if you don't want to get a PS6, it's a bit expensive. Make sure you keep your PS5 because it's still going to be really good. There's still going to be plenty of games that play, and we can make it even do this now. And you're like, hold on, really? You worried that people are going to actually can the PS5 once the PS6 is out and jump ship to Switch 2 or Xbox or PC? Um, Yeah, but you're right with the game jump. I remember when I got my PS4 on release, spoke to the guy in a local computer shop who got his on release, and he said to me, "How you find your PS4?" I said, "Yeah, I'm enjoying it." He said, "Don't look much different from a PS3." I said, "No, it don't now, but we'll see what happens at the end of the cycle." Put an early release PS4 game against Death Stranding, for instance, something like that,
Yeah.
and you see a big noticeable difference. Same with I've done it with the PS3 recently. Played Turning Point, which looks like a rezzed up PS2 game. You get to the end and you're playing The Last of Us and
Yeah.
Uncharted. The difference is massive. Is this a massive difference? Stick a launch game on for PS5, hence Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Play that and then play this Wolverine and see if there is that massive leap. I'm thinking probably not.
Mm.
Um, but it's good they're doing it. I'm going to stay positive. I think 60 FPS ray tracing for Wolverine game will be superb. Um, yeah, I think that's nice, and it's a good bit of news for PlayStation. It's, saying to the gamers, look, this is going to run well. This is going to look good, all in one package. Come and give it a go. So yeah, I think it's good. It is good.
Yeah, I think dipping into their catalogue of sort of Marvel heroes that they own, I think this Wolverine's been a long time coming. I
Mm.
think there was or there is a lot of fan clamour for a Wolverine game. From all the bits I've seen, they've hit every note possible that you could ask for in terms of nods to the franchise, in terms of including heroes and villains that you particularly emotional to see Wolverine face off against. And the gameplay that we've seen has been pretty impressive. So I'm kind of cautiously optimistic. I know this game will play well. I know it will review well. I know it will be, lauded as one of those, great games of this generation. So yeah, the sooner it gets here, the better. Um, Ready for the next bit of news. We often talk about the Switch One having coined the phrase the impossible port. Well, the Switch 2 said, hold my beer, because over on Nintendo Life, Nian Doolan, reporting from backstage, his banjo string has survived a vigorous strumming. Um, Said something to me about vinegar. I don't know how he puts that on there, but I think it was something to do with the way he was playing it, something to do with his stroke. So I don't know whether I don't know what you'd call that. Maybe you might want to call it a vinegar stroke. But anyway, whatever Liam Doolan's doing, he's completed this thing, if nothing else. So Crimson Desert Switch 2 port now in playable state, release targeting first half of 2027. Who'd have thought this possible? Um, we'll do an update. No, we'll do the original story first. Earlier this year, South Korean publisher and developer Pearl Abyss began research and development on Switch 2 version of its new open world action adventure Crimson Desert. The CEO, Heo Jin-young, has now shared an update during the company's latest corporate briefing, noting how this version is being developed to a level where basic gameplay is possible. Admittedly, platform expansion in this case isn't just a simple port, and the Switch 2 version will require optimization and more before a release schedule can now be confirmed. Let's have a look at exactly what Jin Young has said in the Q&A with shareholders about Nintendo version. We believe it's important to showcase Crimson Desert on as many platforms as possible. We're reviewing the Nintendo Switch 2 and it's currently being developed to a level where basic gameplay is possible. However, platform expansion is not just a simple port. The key is whether we can fully maintain the graphics, action and open world experience of Crimson Desert on that device. The Switch 2 version still requires optimization and technical verification, and we must also do a review partner collaboration into whether it meets our quality standards. Therefore, it's difficult to confirm a release schedule. We will announce it transparently once there is confirmed information. So while it does seem Crimson Desert is in serious consideration for Switch 2, as noted by the CEO here, it's still in the very early phases. With this game launched on PlayStation 5, Push Square said the title suffered from really poor performance and graphical issues. Fortunately, the version's received multiple updates since then. But there's an update to this news story. Pearl Abyss has now provided another Crimson Desert Switch 2 development update in its earnings letter. The Nintendo port is now a playable foundation level, and the team is working hard targeting a release of the first half of 2027. Here's what they had to say. In the case of the Switch 2, while optimization is required, the game is currently playable at a foundational level and technical emulations and evaluations are underway to ensure performance optimization and compliance with our quality standards. While it's difficult to confirm a definitive launch schedule about at this time, we are working toward a release targeted for the first half of 2027. We'll provide updates through our official channels once more details are finalised. Now, me personally, we've been waiting for the Impossible Court port to come along that kind of breaks Switch 2 a little bit. Now, the original Switch had The Witcher. I call it the Switcher. Worst place to play it. I'm still a little bit disappointed that we haven't had the next gen upgrade for that on Switch 2. I had a lot of fun with it. I actually finished the game on Switch, would you believe? And now I'm working through the DLC. I'm a glutton for punishment, if nothing else. But the thing about that game is, as much fun as it was and is, there are moments where the game will load around you. I think one of my more famous moments was I was halfway through a forest and then bam, all of a sudden I wasn't in fields anymore. I was deep in a wood. That was a little jarring. Now, the Switch 2 has held its own. It's been very competent. It's been doing very well with its ports, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Assassin's Creed Shadows. I look at you guys and we know you're doing some really great stuff there. Ubisoft and Microsoft have done some great stuff. Obviously, we've seen CD Projekt Red bring over Cyberpunk as a launch game, and that went down seemingly very well. I've enjoyed it, and it's a great place to play the title, especially with all the upgrades. Crimson Desert, though, whether you're into the gameplay or not, whether you're into the wider game or not, I think everyone can understand and appreciate that this game is making your console sweat. Like me in a sauna on a hot day wearing a duffel coat. Now, how the Switch 2 handles that will be very interesting. I feel we might be seeing me walking through a forest and then bam, the forest loads around me moments in this. Now, does that mean we've hit the critical hard edge of what the Switch 2 can do? Maybe. With its mobile architecture, I think that was always going to be hit relatively soon because of the ease it is to develop for those platforms. But here's the remaining but. I am intrigued to see how this will drop. And if this is the hard limit of where a Switch 2 is literally sweating and dying in your hands and killing its battery after 10 minutes, what a hill to die on. And anything back from there, we know is perfectly capable. Crimson Desert being a significantly large open world with various different biomes across it, things happening in the air, things happening on the ground, things happening beneath you, multiple enemies on screen at one time with very, very, very high polygon counts or texture counts and very, very detailed animations as well. So fair play to the boys over there. I think they're doing a great job. RGT, do you think this is the straw that broke the camel's back, or do you think this is going to come through and be compa in some way? Obviously, Series S would be the benchmark to hit. What are you thinking?
Um, I think I don't think even if it does struggle a bit on the Switch 2, I don't think you could probably say that's the Switch 2. Obviously, the developers have already had troubles with PS5, so it's a really big game for a smaller studio. Although I think, like I say, it has been fixed now. Hopefully, I learned lessons from that. I'd like to think. I think the Switch 2 sort of probably be a little bit better than a Series S. It's got 4K for starters. I know that's not everything, but um, I'd like to think that'd probably be a little bit more powerful than that. Be interesting to see. But again, that's another massive game coming to the Switch too.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, when you used to call it the Switcher on your Switch, we had games come over. you know, you can imagine the companies talking to their development team saying, right, we're going to make this for the Switch, and them going, oh my, hell are we going to get this on the Switch? There
Yeah.
was a lot of compromises, to put that on there. Nowadays, it's more like, oh, should we do a Switch 2 port as well? That's done well on the PS5. Yeah, we'll do a Switch 2 port. It's a bit more comfortable. The architecture's
Mm.
there. But it'll be interesting. And I just think, again, like we were saying about in the previous news with the retro on online and bits like that, the added addition of having these games. I know this is a bit later than coming out to the PS5, but you're not waiting 3 years down the line for a very inferior port. You're going to get the full game with maybe a bit less ray tracing. That's about it. And it's portable. So it's sort of showing the power of the Switch 2. It'll be interesting. I've always been tempted with Crimson Desert. I was tempted on PS5, but I might wait for the Switch 2 port now, if I'm honest. So yeah, we'll
I
we'll,
think
we'll see.
it's probably worth the wait. I think that yeah, I think this is a game that I think we probably need to see. I think it's going to be the benchmark. So yeah, very excited, very very interesting stuff. I watched a trailer for it the other day as a result of hearing that it was coming, just to refamiliar myself with exactly what the expectation might be. The game's always looked incredible. There was a bit
Mm,
where like the character was walking through it, and there's so much in it. There is so much
yeah.
in that game. Just from the trailer, like, hang on a minute, there's flying devices. Hang on a minute, he's flying. Hang on a minute, he's in a wood and there's a massive tree ant in there, and it looks super realistic, like something out of Lord of the Rings. Bam. He's fighting in an encampment with like what looks like, up to 100 enemies, all very detailed, all round him. The camp's got like flags fluttering in the wind. It looks superb. I think the one thing that gives me a little bit of pause for thought is that even in the Switch One's dying days, we got Kingdom Come Deliverance. Now, yeah, it's hacked down, but it's in there, full fat, no doubt. And if you pop that in your Switch 2, Obviously, it's doing the best it can with the Switch port, and a lot of the resolutions have been pared down. Flags don't wave, but if you're looking at flags in Kingdom Come Deliverance, there's I do, so there's nothing wrong with you, viewer. But I think you probably need to get a significant other or hop on Grind or whatever it is you use to get yourself out your head. Um, RGT,
Yes.
what's the one game that you would pay anything to see on the Switch 2 graphically that you would like be quite fond to see, my good friend?
Oh, that's a toughie, that is. The thing is as well, because of not having a lot of those big games coming to the original Switch, you can go back over quite a few years and think, oh, wouldn't that be nice to have a bit? I used to always say the Final Fantasy VII remake. We got it now,
Yeah,
there
yeah,
was those sort of games, and we're slowly getting drip fed these ones, and that's almost like we couldn't do it then, but we can now. Um, those quite graphically intense games like the remake was looks absolutely gorgeous, and having that on the Switch 2 as well. So yeah, there's a lot of games I'd like to see. Um, I still say it's a shame we talk. I'd like to see some of the big racing games on there, but obviously with those
yeah.
triggers, I mean, maybe you get an
That would need to
aftermarket
come
one
in.
with a trigger, but
Yeah, exactly. I think if you did launch a racing game that you wanted to have some Credos attached to, like Forza or something like that, which is eminently possible based on the Xbox Series S architecture, I think you'd have to launch it with a triggered controller. I think
mm,
then would be the time. Now, yeah, you could do a third party type with someone just to tick that box, right? Because no one's going to be dragging out their Wii U Pro their Wii One Pro controller to do that.
mm,
Watch prices spike now. Poof.
yeah,
But yeah, it's up to them, I suppose. I mean, games personally, I would like to see that I don't think it's going to happen. I'd like to see just the Switch be included in the full fat farming simulator release. Me and you spoke off air about Signature Edition.
mm,
It's everything that you're ever going to need, and finally we're getting mods and new maps and vehicles, and that's very well catered for, apart from the British maps. So if you're listening, farming simulator mod makers, please do me a pared down British map. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's Ireland, Chipping Norton, some guy up in Carlisle, Northumbria, whatever it is, Cumbria, Northumbria. That I don't care if it's a grass farm. I don't care what it is. I don't care where it is, but I just want to see British road signs. I want to feel like I'm home. Other than that, the one title that I would love to see, and I just don't think it's possible, nor will it ever come, is Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think having that in the palm of your hand, native, would be pretty sexy.
yeah, it would be a game changer, wouldn't it? Really, if you could have Flight Simulator, in
I
your
think,
system, taking
uh,
on holiday, and yeah,
yeah, I think
that's
the bar to entry there, and this is why I chucked out a caveat and will continue to chuck out a caveat, is a lot of the ground underneath you is streamed off the servers at that time.
yeah, yeah,
Your Switch is what Wi-Fi, but if you've got no Wi-Fi, what are you flying over? I tell you what, white, nothing. You have to pretend you're
yeah.
flying over Lapland, but the sky might not even load. So at that point, just flying in a featureless white terrain. Yeah,
Mm,
add that to your notes. Give me a snow speeder game, if you don't mind, sir. Yes, please, thank you. Moving on, RGT, that brings us to the end of the news. It seems
hmm
like we've rocketed through that, like you through a gangbang. So let's, hey, you know what? I'll say what I like when I like. It's the UCP. It's all positive. I don't see you attending an informal adult environment like that as being something that we should decry or besmirch.
No, no, not at all. We all have hobbies.
Yeah, let the young bull down there.
Mm,
Let him. In fact,
mm,
yeah, let the sun hit it. Maybe do it outside.
yeah, let the sun hit it.
Excellent. We find ourselves now stranded at the back end of the news, me having walked myself into like a pretty dangerous verbal area. I think it's time to sort of schmooze out of that. It's time to do some housekeeping. So I'll grab a bucket and a mop. We've got a Discord, links on the socials if you want to come join us and continue the journey. We've got a website. You don't need a Mensa pass to work out what the web address will be. Just Google it, it'll come up. Uh, And obviously, we've got a YouTube. It's where you're watching us now. But if you're listening, and want to see what mine and RGT faces look like, and why would you? Hop over to YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. I think I made a realization on Flashback. We just still do outstandingly well on audio, but I think we're still people's like best kept secret. I know a lot of
Mm.
people like to keep us as their special friend, but we're asking you to just take that one step further. Share the show. Tell everyone that you're enjoying it. Slap it up on the socials. Even if you've been listening to the show for years and you think, well, I've done all I can, do more for us, please. Every week, the show's free, 2 shows a week, FOC. But if you do want to get involved and support the show, head over to the audio version at the top. There's a link to Buzzsprout, our podcast host, who will take you to a secure page where you can donate as little as £3 a month. And from that, you're going to instantly get a t-shirt from us to show gratitude because we don't like money and we like to give it away. Over on the Discord, got lots of competitions and other bits for you to broaden out your UCP merch area and places for you to swap games with like-minded guys and girls. So yeah, to that end, one of the perks of supporting the show, I was going to say subscribing, but subscribe anyway. Bam, 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 bam. Do it. Hit it. Let the sun hit it. Yes, subscribe. Um, One of your perks is you get read out on the show. Now, RGT, the burgeoning list of supporters that we have. Let's take a little trip over to memory lane, good sir, and have a look at the latest list. Same one you send every week. Still not updated Gazcon. That's
No,
fine. Um, do you want to start or do you want me to start? I don't even know who gets the
I'll
gift
start if
anymore.
you like.
Okay,
I'll
go on then,
start if you
lover
like.
boy. Go on for it.
So yes, it is. Skazcon at the very top of the list. As always, the very knowledgeable gamer himself. Speaks a lot of wise words, does that Gazcon. I know we've had a lot of negative news around at the moment. We've got a little section for all the discussions of where game companies are going. Quite serious stuff in our Discord, but it's very interesting reading. And every time I read what he puts, I think, do you know what? I agree with you 100%. He's a very, very clever guy when it comes to gaming. He knows the industry, and he knows what he likes playing, whether it's like I say, an Atari 800 or right up to a PS5. He knows his stuff. So yes, thank you, Gascon, and you're an absolute pleasure to
I'll
have
be
in the
honest,
Discord.
mate. You say that you agree with everything he says about gaming. I think I
Hmm.
agree. I think I'd believe and agree with everything he told me. If he told me how to pluck a chicken
Hmm.
and I said pluck, I would believe it. If he said, yep, snap the neck, roll it over, pull all the feathers out, gut it from the inside out, pull its gizzards out, do all that, I'd be like, right, Gazcon knows how to do this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it.
No.
If he even gave me like marital advice, I'll take it immediately.
Mm.
So yeah, fair play to Gascon. Thank you. Up next, a man that's now been colloquially renamed as Captain Skynet. He supports the show. Not only does that, he goes, watches the episodes of the show, clips the living hell out of them, and turns them into informative yet fun videos. Now, you see some of those break through the meniscus on YouTube Shorts and on Instagram, but the place to go check those out is his TikTok page on TikTok, where he puts all of his clip videos and so much more. So if you want to broaden your understanding of the UCP, get over there. He's also doing the website for us. We've got reviews coming through left, right, and Chelsea on there. So, Captain Skynet, you may control us like your digital flesh puppets, but we have minds of our own, friend. But we're very appreciative of you. Thank you.
Yes, and also I have a mate who doesn't do social media at all. So whenever Gascon sends us the mashup of the show, which he makes it, I always send it to my mate, and he waits for that every week. And
So
he's an
Gascon does the mashups now.
sorry,
Gascon does the mashups now.
did I say Gascon today?
Yeah, I'm confused. Yes, you did. So Captain Skynet does the mashups.
Yeah, did I not say that? No.
You did a Fortnite Minecraft. You did a Georgie from a couple of weeks ago where I decided that every game was Fortnite.
I've done a Punko Fomp. So
Well, you've also made Gascon like I now can't see anything but 20 versions of Gascon on my list of supporters, so I don't know
oh
what's
wow, I've
happening.
messed you up. And
Yeah,
that's normally quite a hard thing to do, but
I've
there we
got
go.
20. I've got 20 Convision.
But anyway, so I send him my mate and he absolutely loves them. He's in absolute hysterics every time. Normally at what you're saying, George, and when it's clipped together, he's even worse. So yes, thank you, Captain Scarlet. And also, I've had him doing a bit of work behind the scenes, which I can't talk about yet. And he sent that through the other day, and absolutely superb. He said, "Anything you want changing, just let me know." And I went back, "Nope, nothing." He went, "No, seriously, don't you won't offend me if you want things." I said, "Nothing. You have absolutely nailed it."
Have
That
I seen
guy,
this?
no.
So you now have a private message group with Captain Skynet that I'm not in.
Oh God, yeah, we've been talking about you for weeks. So
I'll be
yeah,
honest with you, I want to draw a line under that. I don't like that.
no.
I
Well,
don't want to
you
externally
wouldn't.
contract shift both of you.
No,
I can only really stomach externally contract shifting one of you, and you were already the predisposed target. Don't
this
make
is
me
this.
shift target.
I find this weird because, like I say, I've been contractually shifted, but I'm still here. It's really weird. I don't
Yeah,
work
because
here,
I
but I do.
externally
But
contract shifted you back on.
yeah, yeah. So it's quite confusing because I had a few
Yeah,
offers from
look,
other
mate, I'll
podcasts,
don
and I said
you.
I can't.
I'll don you. I'll pull you off, and I'll throw you on the floor like a used prophylactic. Yeah, there's one for Captain Skynet to go Google.
Wow, this week's it's going to be good. Yes, thank you, Captain
I was
Skynet,
beginning
as
to
always.
think till we got to this part, and I do think this happens more and more that we get very dry to this part, and then the clips seem to be majoritively from this area. So we
Mm,
might as well throw meat. Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
that's going to open with that. I can see that clip
I
show starting with that.
There's absolutely no way. His bonds were cut. A hobbit has fallen. Where did he go? Fenrir Forest!
That's going to be about a 5 minute clip show this week. Anyway, who we got
I doubt
next?
it. 30 seconds max. We don't say funny things, we say informative and useful
Hmm.
gaming news and advice. Up next, you're next. Have you done retro, Ed?
Oh yes, sorry, no, I haven't. Sorry, I thought that was your turn. I forgot I'd done
Wow.
Captain Skynet.
Wow.
Retro Ed, thank you as
I
always.
Okay.
Can you stop interrupting, please?
Yes, mummy.
Okay, be a good boy. Thank you. Thank you, Retro Ed, as always, for your continued support. We must have another meet up soon because Bristol was absolutely fantastic. So it'd be great to meet you all again. And don't smile at me because I know what you're going to say. Don't go down that road.
No, what I was going to say is that Captain Skynet's been, working a shift on the clip videos, but we haven't seen one of Retro Ed's kind of picture replacement videos for a while. So I'd
That
also
was
be
good.
quite keen to
What with
see
his art attack?
Art Attack and the Nintendo genuine screen protector debacle I went through, where he like all the dust is attracted and all that sort of
Yeah,
nonsense. That
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 was
was
good.
great.
That was
Okay,
brilliant.
up next, it's only right and proper that I get to thank Carlos, the One Man George fan club. He reached out to say, yes, keep this positivity up. Our hobby is amazing. I'm right behind it. I'm right behind you, but I feel like you should be right behind me. I'm going to try and avoid saying flesh trench this week, but you know where you got to lay that pipe, Carlos. I'll take it. Thank you, good sir.
There's going to be a lot of clips. Next up, as we say, actually, my mate used this slogan the other day. Last weekend, went round his lodge for a couple of drinks. We were chatting away, and he just dropped it in a conversation. We were talking about getting rich, and he went from tramp to Trump in a week. And I was like, no way. I was like, yeah, so firm returns. Thank you as always. And you've actually coined a slogan now, which is being used. So well done.
Wow. He coined that. Well done. Well done, Firm Returns. Up next, it's the Corner House in New York, formerly Trestles, now the official home of the UCP in the United States. We've got to say thank you to them. Thank you to our co-host Bobby, who organised the most amazing legal wrangle that would make Trump and Firm Returns very proud. So yeah, Corner House got in touch. They said, stop saying to give out free coffees, George. You need to say free coffee and a pastry of their choice if you show them the UCP logo on your phone. So fair play to Corner House for that, not only dedicating several £1,000s of their profits towards the upkeep of the show, but also giving out free gizzets left, right, and Chelsea. And as I said last week, if I don't believe you, save this clip, play it back to them. Yes, Corner House, you are contractually obliged. See you in court. Lawyer up, bitch. Thank you.
I'm still waiting for that day when someone actually goes in. You look at their Instagram and said, "Someone's just come in today, what, on a free pastry and coffee?"
They're
Which,
doing banging numbers off the back of the UCP, and you know they are.
yeah, I expect they are. But yes, thank you, Corner House. Next up, we have the biggest Dreamcast collector in Scotland, maybe the whole of the UK, maybe Europe. It is Roast Space Monk. Um, Fantastic collection, fantastic guy, long-term listener, long-term supporter. So thank you as always, Rose Space Monk.
Ah, look out. Ciao, bada bingster. Come stai? Bene, bene, bene. Stammi bene. Oh, bene, stronzo. Stammi bene. Thank you, bada bingster,
Thank you,
because
Bada
you don't
Binkster.
speak Italian. And I know you do.
um, Next up, we have
Do you
the
speak
guy.
French?
Me?
Yeah.
No. I asked
Mm.
for a cheese and ham sandwich. That's about it.
I've seen you kiss it in that way, but never mouth to mouth. Always a little bit sort of south of the border.
What, like that? Is
Oh
that getting
God.
is that getting clipped, do you think?
I hope so. If Captain Skynet's watching, please don't forget to use the sill clip because nothing hits better than that.
Very true. Um, do we need to tick the explicit box this week, or now I've just done a tongue roll? Or
No, I don't think so. I think people who are dieting will be quite grateful of the kind of like of that, just watch this again and again, just the tongue waggle. And I think they'll be like, yeah, I don't actually feel hungry anymore.
oh,
So
wow.
always providing a service to the listener.
Hmm.
Viewer. I don't what? Hang on. Viewer, listener. I also like the idea of when we harmonized our hums.
Hmm.
I actually stumbled across that and it was like, yeah, that did actually make everything vibrate. So, yeah, DM got in touch and said that it was a very positive experience for him. Although the picture of the inserted Bluetooth speaker was a little bit revealing, like he'd kind of, no, it's not what you're thinking. It's, no, it just kind of inserted it in between his wall and his radiator and it kind of vibrated the whole thing.
That's what I thought you meant. What did you
Yeah.
think I thought?
I think it's best not to think in these situations and
Hmm.
just kind of basically sit down on it and spin on it, stand up and have a look, and then a little bit of wipe and move on.
Anyway, like I was saying, next up we have the man going for a full PAL 3DS collection, and he's actually raw into it as well. And I like the tricks he uses as well, but we have to be careful in case Mrs. Tingle Tuner is listening. But the old £6 price tags you can stick on again. That's about £80. Well done, Tingle. Well done.
I think he just needs to get himself like a POS, not a piece of shit, but a point of sale machine at home that he can just like bam out like,
Yeah, the old like clicker machine. Click, click,
yeah,
click, click. Yeah,
price, bam, £1.50.
yeah,
What a steal. Look at that on CEX. It's worth like 4 grand.
yeah.
Can you
No,
get the
he's
kids some new shoes?
because you've said you've only spent £1.50 this week.
Or I haven't been paid from work this month.
Yeah, yeah, they've had problems. So yeah, I didn't.
Lucky I didn't lose my job, so just dip
Yeah,
into the savings again, would you?
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
just get us a extra few quid out because there's a very rare 3DS game in the local charity shop. But yes, Tingle Tuner, thank you as always, and I don't think you'll be too long getting that 3DS collection because you're roaring towards the higher echelons of the game numbers at the moment. So yeah, well done.
He's in the higher echelons of everything,
Oh,
so,
because he is. Yeah,
it's only a matter of time.
he's a
Which means
connoisseur. He's a connoisseur. So
he is. He is. Sir Connor. Up next, I get to thank Digital Monkery, a man who's fresh out of bodily fluids after the experience he had last week. He got in touch like, don't reveal our secrets. First of all, I didn't really remember what I'd said, and then he reminded me. It was like, yeah, ouches. But a man who stood in for me most eloquently on Flashback and is behind the stage doing all the good things. um, fingering, poking, doing all the stuff that you would expect a Discord moderator to do. They might be references to Facebook or MySpace. I can't remember. It kind of shows you what I know. But he's definitely fingered or poked me several times. And I'm grateful for it, to be honest. Yeah, I basically hoisted myself up into one of those birthing chairs and let him go at it. It was a comfortable place to sit while we both played a bit of Warhammer. So, yeah, I don't know what you were thinking, but yeah. RGTU's next.
There we go. That's the clip, and that's the one. We got there in the end.
Oh,
Well done.
wow.
Feel free, Captain. Away you go. And you'll probably use the Sith one as well with me going.
He's back. Everyone's favourite.
Next.
Please clip me, please. Please. Oh, Captain Skynet, please clip me. Make me the star. Make me seal. Oh, yes. Whatever, mate. I've just walked straight into it and now I have, but I don't care. I don't care.
You
I was
finished
pa
now, or
I think that, yes, I am. I'm satiated.
okay, right. Next up, we have the Floss 360 connoisseur himself, Mr. Bald Border.
Hmm.
He's currently down on the safe shores of the UK, pushing the UCP and flashback for us.
Yes.
He's down at Bournemouth at the moment, having a lovely time for his partner's birthday. So I hope you're having a lovely time, Anna. And young Thomas is down there with you. They're all wearing flashback t-shirts, handing out leaflets around the streets of Bournemouth because we need a few more downloads down that area of the country. So hope you're having a lovely time, and thanks again as always.
He saw a spike, jumped on it.
Yep.
That's what I like. Or did he
Mhm.
see? Did he see a? I don't know if he saw a valley or a spike, but either which way, he's gone down there to personally address it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Branded in the UCP kit.
Mm-hmm.
What did I say? Oh, shit.
Merch.
Yeah, UCP gear, merch, call it what you like. He's dripping in it.
He's absolutely dripping.
He's got his gold chains on, UCP gold chain, super
Mm-hmm.
subscribers. So he's got all his gold. He's got all his. He's left a green rash around his neck now. So, I bought it from a guy. I bought it from a guy.
What
Saved
he's
me.
got, what he wears, he's got the old Turbo Touch 360. He's had a massive one made, and he wears it around his neck like Flavor Flav did with a clock.
A clock.
Clock. Tick tock clock. I just realised that's getting clipped as well, isn't it?
Just the position of your mouth just
Yeah.
presented itself as an open channel. That, yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Board Border. I'll quickly stop that one.
Up next, I don't know. I don't know. I've got no idea what he's doing since he joined the tent box community. He's gone what I would call feral. Feral. Absolutely feral. He's not been home in months. He's living at his tent box. He's using that as a base of operations, his mobile operations base. And from there, he's organising a multimedia empire. I think personally, he sees himself as a little bit of a Hugh Hefner. But this is not for like the typical thing you'd find. He's set himself up a squirrel photography page. And he's kind of pimping squirrels, grey squirrels, centerfold of a red squirrel. It'll even divert into other sort of similar rodents like weasels and stoats. So yeah, if you're into that kind of rodent activity, Boba's your man. Um, just if you hear a rustling in the tent box, it's probably because he's wrestling with a couple of grey squirrel stags that got a little bit, the grey squirrels like, especially when they got a touch of the red bit of the guingois in their fur. They can get a little bit, what I would say, violent, and they're not silent but violent. They're loud. There'll be a lot of screeching coming from the tent box. But don't worry, the RSPCA have said that he's got his squirrel handling certificate and that he's safe to plow down, basically. So yeah, I'm glad that's all sorted, Baber. He's also one of the Discord sheriffs, the OG Discord sheriff. He's like he's the ultimate gatekeeper. If
Mm.
you mess around on there, you'll find yourself locked in the Discord that he's created that's based around you that you can't escape. And you'll be forever trapped in circles communicating with yourself because it will just fire back your own words at you. So yeah, don't mess with him because I feel like I've kind of messed with him revealing his sort of squirrel magazine ahead of time. I'm just trying to pump it up for you. Just trying to pump, pump, the publication for you, but I know that I've broken the NDA and the embargo while doing so. So, but anyway, everybody stand up for a moment because, god damn, going bread. Ah.
Hmm.
Mm.
You've been drinking Lucasade today, George? Or
To be honest with you, mate, just before we went on air, I kicked over a tin of, yeah, it's making a return, Silver
oh
Hook electrical
no,
contact cleaner. I kicked it in frustration, then it discharged another load straight in my face.
that
Uh,
answers a lot. To be
yeah,
fair,
and I
that answers.
feel like maybe I got maced initially, and then as I've kind of like worked through it, my liver and kidneys have processed it. I feel like now I'm kind of coming into a place of like, oh God, what have I said? What have I done? Um, Probably
Bit late for
started off
that.
all, yeah, well, hey, look,
Bit late for that.
if you're still listening at this point, it's only because you want to hear your name read out, because, I can't imagine a new listener would get all the way here and be like, oh, I need more, I need more of this.
Fair play if you are. Well done. Um,
If you have, you're our kind of guy, stroke gal. You better hit subscribe immediately so you don't lose us in that cycle of your feeds. I'm
hmm,
going to say something notification bell, something YouTuber, something support the channel.
brilliant.
Hmm.
Clear as mud.
Yep.
Thank you, Boba. Next up, we have your red-headed stepson,
Hmm.
young Ginge. Um,
May I take him? Because something happened in the universe, in our solar system. It was the 93% solar eclipse.
mhm.
What people don't realize is it wasn't the moon. It was his flexed bicep that obscured the sun during one of his pump workouts. He wanted to. I know he's my redheaded stepson, but the pump that he gets on and the unrivaled sort of veinery and poppage on his appendages is nothing short of what I would call awe-inspiring.
So sort of Ginge eclipse.
I don't know as there was any need to be racist.
I don't believe I was. I just said it was a Ginge eclipse. There was an eclipse and he done it. So,
Mm, well, not this again.
oh no,
You're
my
right.
contract's gone again, isn't it?
Um, no, it's been shifted into a new world now. If I did him when he was yours, that sounds wrong about my redheaded stepson, but that means I get to thank the immortal, the one, the only Harvey Retro, um, one of the mega brains over at Enigmatic Productions, and also head of a podcast studio. As we always say, he listens so he knows to tell his people what not to do.
Yeah.
Um, we love him like a brother. He's even been on the show. If you want to hear his tones and see some of the great work he puts out, head over to YouTube, Enigmatic Productions, or get in the YouTube or podcast time machine and go back and find the movies, games, and videos Enigmatic Productions episode where you can hear his
Great
sexy
show.
voice,
Great
Johan
show.
and Greg,
Mm.
all wax lyrical about movies that became video games that became movies, I do believe was the way round that it should be
Hmm.
worded. Yes.
Mm.
Hmm. Thank you, Harvey.
Yeah, thank you, Harvey Retro. Next up, we have the wonderful Emma Sharp. Thank you as always, Emma. And I still need to give you your little present, and I forgot about it. So I will pop down and see you this week and give you your little presents.
Wow, there's an offer she can't refuse.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to deploy the mobile command unit, the UCP command unit, aka your car and tent box?
No, it's only down the road, so I won't need an overnight stay. So
Oh, sort of in and out job.
yeah, yeah, pretty quick, pretty quick. So I'll pop in the
Awesome.
shop, give her a present, and then loaders. But yes, thank you, Emma, as always. Superb.
Well, that means I get the legendary opportunity to thank Nowhere Near Berlin. No,
No clip. No.
nowhere near Berlin. Nowhere near, nowhere, no, 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 nowhere near Berlin. And we know that he's not at the aforementioned Aztec temple, north, south, east, or west steps. We've done the center of it. We're now moving into the surrounding area. So I must ask you, nowhere near Berlin. You're nowhere near the grass in front of that. We know that, but there's obviously surrounded by forest. Are you behind the first tree I can see to the north? Thank you for all you do, Greg. And let us know where you aren't.
Thanks, Greg. Next one is someone I say every week that we should all thank, and that is Mumsy. Thank you,
Let the
Mumsy.
sun hit it.
Apparently so. So do that, what he said. So, yes, thanks, Mumsy.
Do that, what he said. No, I don't want any of it. Mhm. If you'd listened to the episode you weren't on, you'd know that was one of the most innocent sayings you'd ever heard.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, wow. Oh, look at that. He's all angsty. What a prick. Right.
You heard it, listeners. You heard it.
Oh, oh God.
Yeah, got the real George now, haven't we? Real
Oh,
George now,
wow.
haven't we?
He
Yeah.
only turned up because a real RGT turned up.
Yeah, God dear, the diva's out. Come on, carry on reading. It's not about you, it's about the subs.
Wow, mate. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it
Up
is.
next, I don't know, as fate would have it, I get to thank the RGT fan club.
I just looked at that and thought,
Hang on a minute. Hello. Yeah, I can see you. That's how YouTube works. This is live. That's great. Oh, what? Is that a cup of tea? Awesome. Look, my best to both of you. Um, I love you like parents, even though we don't know each other, and I think you're starting to love me like the son you wish you'd had. So that's not gone down well, has it? I'll be honest. Trey's gone over. You're on the blower. What's he talking about? It's like, we love you. Like, yeah, all right, let's calm down. It was a joke. It got out of hand.
I'm going to get questions about that. Um, Next up, we have
I
maybe
think
this.
they're right to ask questions. I mean, are you hitting the very top metrics of what you could do?
No, nowhere near.
No. So I
I'm an
think
embarrassment.
I wouldn't say you're an embarrassment. Not
Oh, I
now you
would
do this
definitely.
show. You're YouTube famous.
Not really.
RGT, you're YouTube famous.
Oh my God, let's get this show done. Next up, we've got the second hardest man in the Discord in the subs list. It is Pete Brocklehurst. But
He's changed his name.
what was it again now?
Inspired by last week, he said, like, yeah, right, I need to go by my birth name. It's Pete Bratwurst.
Oh yeah, Pete Bratwurst. Sorry, Pete. The only time you ever have been in contact with us, but please come and contact us again because we love having you as a sub, and you've always been a silent but violent. Very violent, I hear. But thank you, Pete.
Oh, yeah, you're cruising for a bruising. Which
Classic.
means I get to sniff, lick, and taste the yeasty extract, the sort of thing that gathers in a skin fold on a man who's probably a little bit too much into Final Fantasy. You can be into it, but then you cross the line, and within that fold lives Billy Marmite. Thank you for all you do for the show. Another silent but violent, but doesn't mean we love you any less, good sir. Thank you for all that you do for the show, and as we say, we may have met you, we don't know. You're a digital ghost, but we're very grateful for the amount of money that you pay on a monthly basis.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And
good luck to you.
whenever we do any more shows, we'll always be on the smell out for yeast, and then we'll know you're about.
As
So
I've said before, very difficult metric to measure him by in a gaming
yeah,
environment.
you need to be yeast expert to just take that smell out of all the other smells you get. So
Maybe you're going to have to kind of wind him round like a fresh wine carafe. Sniff, a little bit of taste, spit. Um, and then judge based on the sort of age and vintage of the yeast extract you taste in your mouth. I'd imagine he would be. I think he's going to have an eye element of salt, in him.
mm,
If I'm being bold.
mm, yeah, I think you're probably right.
Who's next,
Any,
RGT?
I think it's me, innit? I've got a geef. So
Wow, I feel like I've done like six geese in a row. I'm nothing but a withered husk of a man.
there shouldn't be no, with a man of your experience and history, I would imagine that six on the trot is no problem. Um, you're a
No,
man who is,
they've been mega geese though that
yeah, but
we've done.
you've really perfected the geef to the stage where you can just geef anywhere, anytime, normally do. So I've seen
Is
you geef in public.
I think that's why I'm probably, been requested on multiple occasions to be part of the tent box community, but you
Mm.
have to draw a line somewhere.
Yeah, maybe you'll be one of us soon. We're always
Hmm.
looking for new geefers.
Listen, I rock up to a tent box gathering and, mate, there's going to be that much geefing going on that people aren't going to be able to sleep.
Mm. We don't sleep.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah,
Sort of,
I've
sort of secret society.
I was on X the other day and I stumbled across a video that I think must have been a tent box party. I'll be honest with you, it still haunts me now. I don't know if I'm ready to go to that, but maybe I just try it.
You are. Come join us.
Okay.
Anyway, should I do McGeef?
Join us. Come.
Should I do McGeef?
Yeah, I think that's the tent box motto, mate.
Mm. I'm just trying to deflect off that because we're going to have to tick that explicit box very soon.
We haven't said a single thing that is directly that.
Should I Geef?
Yeah.
You going to guess?
Cover me in your love.
Tick that box. Right, here we go. Mm. Do you want face as well?
Well, we didn't come to video for nothing, pal.
No. All right, I'll just get the tash ready. Mm. Acts as a little bit of guttering. Um, oh, 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 has a Geef?
Now, as luck would have it, I know exactly what this is. You've been sent a video of Crimson Desert running on the Switch 1. And, as brutal as that is, it shows great favour for what the Switch 2 is going to be able to do with that same game. So,
Exactly.
yeah,
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 that's
yeah,
it. Well
yeah.
done. Well
Mm.
done. I almost thought I
Brilliant.
told you that story, but no, you've nailed it.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Yep.
Up next, we know. Well, first of all, thank you to everyone that supports us. If you
Yes.
want,
Thank you,
if
everyone, as
you
well.
want the lewd readout, you're welcome. If you don't, message RGT, tell him to tell me to calm it down, and we will immediately, but with no pushback. That wasn't a euphemism. No pushback or innuendos applied. Um, because we're very grateful for you and we do not want to upset you.
Very true.
RGT, the show can only end when I ask you what your happy to play.
Oh God, I didn't know if you were sneezing or geefing.
It was to be honest,
Combination.
you sneeze enough times and you geef. It's the equivalent of a geef. That school ground analogy, it works. It's true. And
Cool.
if you geef with your eyes open, they come out.
Oh, brilliant. More definite denial. And also we've been talking off air about farming simulator. I've been racking your brains onto. I really fancy playing it. I went round
Mm.
my friend Tim's, aka Speedy Wheels,
How is
and
Mr. Wheels?
he's
Mrs.
very
Wheels.
good. Thank you very much. Yeah, they're very good. Thank you very much. And he was
Hello,
mass
hello, Wheels is.
being being an ex-farmer himself. He's always loved farming simulator. So uh yeah, I was watching him play and thought, do you know what? I could get back into this. So I quizzed your brain whether to get a PS5 version or a Switch 2 Signature Edition. So yes, watch
And
next week to
I
see
didn't
which one I get.
definitively define that at all, did I? Really?
No, but you did rest my queries, which was I was thinking if I got the Switch 2 edition, is it going to be inferior to the PS5 version? I thought it would be almost like a mobile port, but
No,
you've
no, no. That signature edition is the full fat version. They've called it
exactly, yeah.
signature edition. It looks exactly like the current game. To my eyes, many use the lot as the PS5 version, but the only thing that's lacking, not the vehicle mods, but the map mods. And
Mm,
as I said at the top of the show or earlier in the show, I'm just desperate for a British map on there now. But I do remember getting this latest farming simulator when it first launched. I got it all excitedly, saw there were no British maps, half-arsed it on the American map, and then rested it, and then went back on 3, 4, 5 months later, and boom, they were all there. And
mm,
I got stuck in like a Plowing for a boy.
It's like the Hovis advert. I
There
went
you go.
down to shops on Cobbold Street. Um, yeah, so a bit. I'm probably going to order that, so I'll let you know next week which one I've purchased. But yeah, definite Nile. Probably a bit more Rogue Flight. Probably a bit more retro. I've been enjoying the old arcade ports on my Evercade, so I'll be playing a bit more of those. But yeah, I think it's probably me. What about you, George?
Um, like the Nintendo Switch Online is always continuing the rotation, so they'll probably dip in and out a bit more. Mario Sunshine, I've got my Donkey Kong 64 playthrough going on. I've got my Ocarina of Time playthrough going on. So probably this weekend I might get all nostalgic and it'll be N64. Then I've got a myriad of games on the Oki. Got Final Fantasy 8, Donkey Kong Bonanza, maybe a little bit of Starfield. Still need to get back to Indiana Jones because I rested that for my holiday, and like I say, he sat there covered in dust, a million years old. By the time I get back to Indiana Jones, he's going to look like the Grail soldier, isn't he? The one who defends the Grail in the Last Crusade. Like, oh, hello, who are you? Um, but yeah, there you go. And then probably turn up next week having played a load of other different games that I've downloaded over the weekend in a bid to try and find my gaming happy place, my Nirvana, my Elysium. Anyway, with all that said and done, RGT, I think we've imparted enough wisdom or whatever it was that we imparted during this episode. Hopefully it was wisdom. Hopefully it was fun. Hopefully, it was a little bit of happiness to get you through the week. It certainly, hopefully, got you through your drive to and from work. And if you're then struggling for a little bit more UCP action, don't forget we got the back catalogue and we've also got flashback. And that's all we have time for this week, listeners. Always thank you for your time. We look forward to the pleasure of speaking to you again next week. Until then, happy gaming. And remember, there's nothing wrong with being given the unofficial controller. It's what you do with it that counts. See you, RGT. See you guys.
Later. See everyone.
Thank you.